Crypto Billionaire, Indictment, Roger Ver, Bitcoin tax evasion charges, and not only charges, but arrested in Spain. So we got to break this indictment down right now in this video and run on through it and some of the exciting parts. But let me just kind of tell you the exciting stuff right out of the gates here. According to the government, United States indictment allegations, in 2014, Roger Ver was holding 131,000 Bitcoin. They did what's called a cluster analysis. This is kind of frightening and terrifying. And for any whales out there, really anybody, they were able to do some sort of a cluster analysis, which could be some case precedent. And they put in all of holdings of his companies that they were to find. So, 3 different companies and his personal holdings. How'd they do that? Well, through KYC, registered with Coinbase, Kraken, and these other exchanges, foreign exchanges, by buying Bitcoin on them. And then they did this analysis, and he basically was setting up KYC on each exchange to buy them as early as 2011 with Mt. Gox. And so they were able to track it all the way back to Mt. Gox, and they did what's called a cluster analysis to determine that around in 2014, he did an expatriation where he left the country and he basically put his citizenship into St. Kitts. And at that time, he's supposed to file a specific tax return saying what his holdings were at the time of his renunciation of his citizenship. And so the tax laws basically say that, you got to declare all these assets. But apparently, he only put down 20,000 Bitcoin, which is about, I think it was about 3 million at the time. And he had a lot more than that. I mean, possibly he put down up to 9 million, if I read it right. But it was definitely only about 20,000 Bitcoin, way lower than what he was supposed to. And that was according to his second appraiser that he got to put down his assets. So they're complaining that the government is out $50 million in taxes because of this indictment, 48 million or so. So ultimately, it's a 26-page indictment. And I first got a hold of it. It was just absolutely salivating. I mean, it's one of those things that these types of things are fun to read because it's so well pled. Hats off to the United States Attorney. They wrote it out of Central District, which is going to be either Fresno, Los Angeles area. And they just did a great job at writing the facts, setting the background about how Bitcoin works, how the wallets work on page number 5, and then going into the background of Roger Ver a little bit on all these companies that he had set up and his success, where he started buying Bitcoin early in 2011, and really does it really a deep dive on his own history. I mean, it's sad, but it's his own personal business. It sucks when this happens because a guy like this, I mean, he wants to be private. He doesn't want his business flooding all over the internet. And here it is. Now, the government has done a deep dive on his assets, and now it's all over the internet. And guy on YouTube is talking about it. It's sad. When this happens, because they totally go back in his privacy. Now, there's a couple problems I saw that they went to his attorneys and law firms and they got information from them. It seems like that should have been protected by privilege. It would be objectionable for Roger Ver to say, I object to that stuff being used. My attorneys are supposed to be protecting me, not selling me out, giving up my information. Not that it's right what he did or wrong what he did, or even if he did anything. None of that's proven. He's innocent. He's totally innocent until proven guilty. So please, it's sad that this stuff gets flaunted out there. Here I am, doing it, putting it myself, but it's already out there. It's already public everywhere. So it's sad that it gets out there when there's been no, guilty crime. He's not guilty yet. He's only just been charged, but he did get arrested. So, I wanted to go through. Yeah, the first 3 counts were mail fraud and for sending false 2014 and 2017 tax returns through the mail. The count 4 was attempting to evade and defeat taxes owed for 2014 by filing false tax returns and underreporting his Bitcoin assets. Count 5, attempting to evade and defeat taxes owed for 2017 by failing to report income from distributions of Bitcoin to his company. So he made donations to his companies and he failed to report these distributions. And then 7 and 8 were about filing false tax returns in 2014 and 2017 by underreporting Bitcoin holdings. values of his companies and capital gains owed on taxes. So most of it stems from the exit tax that he was supposed to be paying on renouncing his citizenship in 2014. So despite the government saying that he owned 130,000 Bitcoin, 130,000. So at that time, at around $800, let's say that's around 120 million, 115 million. What's that today? Well, let's say 50,000 per BTC Bitcoin. We're looking at about $6.5 billion. So the government's saying they didn't get their $48 million in taxes, and the people have been harmed. So accordingly, the charges also relate to his 2017 distribution of over 60,000 Bitcoins from his companies to his personal accounts. So 2017, he's already out of the country. He's renounced his citizenship. He's filing a non-resident tax return under what's called a 1040-NR. And he's now taking the assets. He's thinking he's in the clear. He's in St. Kitts. He's taking these Bitcoins, selling them on exchanges, literally selling them into cash. And I think that's where a big problem of him is they're saying that he took the Bitcoins from his companies and he put them into US dollars. That's the problem. They don't like that when you're back into US dollars and Federal Reserve notes. And now, and then he's not properly reporting that gain on his capital gains tax. So it's 60,000 Bitcoins from his personal companies. So I just sit back and kind of like review this and enjoyed the legalese in it. I'll post a link to the indictment here that I found online. And, it's, again, I hope that it's a couple interesting points, though, is about the citizenship and the jurisdiction. They're saying they got jurisdiction, but he's not a U.S. citizen anymore. So apparently they're going after him because when he was a U.S. citizen in 2014. And then, it seems like there's a jurisdictional challenge here. The guy's not a citizen. So if he's not a citizen, how do they get jurisdiction? They're bringing it back from his old tax returns. That's a big deal. I'm telling you, this jurisdiction thing is everything. But apparently they're saying they got jurisdiction by taking him into custody in Spain. And now they're going to do an extradition on him. So what's interesting as well, though, is there was a gift that he put in. It was another. They're alleging this is a big false report, but he's saying that he donated 60,000 Bitcoin to his girlfriend or his partner in 2011 or 2012. And he filed a gift tax, which is like a 708 gift tax form, 709 gift tax form in around 2014. And it was just, backdated saying, oh, by the way, I did the gift tax. So there is some sloppy stuff in his filings. That one right there, like 3 years. Oh, this gift was done a long time ago. That just doesn't look good. At least from what they're alleging. Again, innocent and proven guilty. And I'm really sending the best to him. But I don't want to get into conjecture here, but I am going to have on Crypto Rick on the 13th of May. The next day I'm going to have Brett back on. I'm also going to have on Attorney David Pierce back on, who just met with Judge Miller over there in the UK. Just had dinner with him, sat down with him in person. So he knows him personally. So, hey, I'm one guy away from Judge Miller, I guess. Pretty cool. And you're one guy away from me. So here we are. We're going to sit down with David Pierce. I think it's on the 9th. And we're going to talk about what he knows about the big Satoshi trial where Craig Wright turned out not to be Satoshi. But the reason I bring that up is because, this indictment here, Roger Ver is a fierce enemy of Dr. Wright. They hate each other, fiercely hate, like literally like enemy. And so was CZ, an absolute rival. And then the other one was, the main one was CZ of Binance. He was just another arch enemy where Dr. Wright called out what he was doing on a video. And of course, Craig Wright has sued and gone after, I think 5 times Ver. He sued him. So he really has gone hard on him. And, not to say again that this is going to happen, but I guarantee you I could pretty much guarantee you that Crypto Rick is going to come on here on that show and he's going to say, well, Craig was right. Watch what's going to happen on this appeal. Watch what's going to happen. And we'll find out from Attorney David Pierce on really what's going on with the Judge Miller case because on the actual written judgment, which is supposed to come out any day now, according to him, and gossip online. It's supposed to be coming out any day. We'll see what it says. But even once that comes out, then the appeal timeline can start. And, you know, I'll bet a freaking dime that Dr. Wright will appeal. You know, I will bet even a quarter. So, yeah, but that's the indictment for you. A little kind of a recap on Bitcoin Jesus indicted by the United States and arrested in Spain, and breaking down this amazing indictment on 8 counts. Usually these counts don't all stick, but, you know, they're flaunting out his dirty laundry all over the internet now. And, you know, I have no, it's sad. That's all. It's just sad that a guy who is not guilty, he's innocent right now, has to have all his laundry pushed out there on the internet when this indictment gets filed, into the court like that. And it's not sealed. It's just out there. They got a grand jury doing it. So, yeah, you know, I'll be sure to keep you posted on those upcoming interviews. That's going to be next week. I'm going to be knocking them out. I think the 9th is the first one. It's going to be David Pierce. And then we got Crypto Rick back on. Brett Banafy's going to be back on as well. I'll be in London here soon in a couple weeks. And I will be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, share the video, get the word out there, and send some love and prayers and good vibes to Roger Ver, because he's in custody. You know, we don't want to, I never wish ill on anybody, any man. I don't care who he is. I don't want ill to anybody. And so I do give him good vibes, and if nothing else, prayers to have a good attitude, that it's going to work out for the best. Keep a good attitude and a strong mind, and we'll see you at the top.